It's insane for me to be fasting, for me to know that I'm a spirit, then creating myself as God, but then having to go Luciferian and create a human that allows me to communicate my God. But now I can get lost in the demonic world because I am connecting with spirits outside of myself, meaning that I'm doing a bunch of things that aren't actually good for me, like being forced to go to school. Really frustrating for me to be able to see life from that perspective and to operate from that perspective, and then interact and connect with someone who is working from the complete opposite end. And not only that, but they're only like negative and judgmental in terms of like that lady friend that I had who she loved talking to me. She loved fasting and stuff with me, not because I'm an individual and she could interact with my individuality and accept it, but she really liked me because she was projecting Jesus into me. So I'm here fasting as Chase, talking about spirituality, but she's mainly relating with it in terms of, oh, he's fasting like Jesus. And yeah, I fasted because I was raised in a culture where I'm forced to believe that Jesus is better than me because he was able to fast and talk to God. But now that I'm fasting and I'm talking to God and I'm actually God and I'm actually a spirit creating myself as God and then having to humble myself so I can make it relatable to all these demons. Then it's really whack to interact with someone who believes that they are the body and then believes that they need to give their body to another body who is a greater God than them. And it's just lost in light. It's just lost in light. It's lost in light. It's literally just being lost in light. Do I have a better word? It's being lost in the L. You're a loser. Spirits who are lost in light are losers. Like literally, like you lose. You lose, sir. Good day. You are lost in light. The moment you believe that you are light, the moment you believe you are the word that you are using to express yourself, whoever created that idea for you has trapped your soul, and they are making money off of how you vibrate. It's as simple as that. So now I have to be here as Chase, fueling the white supremacist structure based on how I'm speaking this language and vibrating my soul into these ideas so that I can use my spirit to support this structure. I can use my space to build up this body that wants me to believe that I am not me. And I'm only doing this because I care about you, or else I would be dead. I would not have even made a body here. I would not care enough about this. I wouldn't be fasting. I wouldn't be communicating like I am. I don't need to do this. Like, this isn't for me. This is not for me. I'm good. I'm good. This is for you. Now, look, this is what's cool. I, as a spirit, I get to grow and expand and level up the more I do things for you. So this is the point of me having my simulation of Mercury, and me being the god of communication, and me relaying messages and flying out of my space to just do what I gotta do, because I get to level up. I get to grow based on how I rise to the challenge of any simulation. Whatever simulation I'm in, you know, the circumstances and all that, it's all communication. I get to play, I get to learn, I get to grow. It's beautiful, it's fantastic. This is what life is about. So this is how I've set up my space as Chase. As Mercury, I have my own world. I create my own world, and I know that I'm going to have fun when I step out of my world. I know I'm going to have a good time when I step out of my world. I'm not going to be truly in slavery or truly in bondage, because I've created a situation where simulations call me to make a body in there, right? So most spirits, they're here because they want to be. They're here because they want to connect with others. They're here because they're running away from themselves. Most spirits in this simulation and most simulations are there because they want to connect. I'm not here because I want to connect. I'm here because I was called to help. And the way that I help is by connecting. That's why my life path is 2. So now my whole challenge is learning how to connect even more. And this is why I have no water in my chart. And this is why Mercury is like, I'm just so much about air and earth. And that's the expression of my fire. Now that's naturally watery because, again, like it's emotional, but emotions are stupid to me. I don't resonate with water. I know I need water, but I don't resonate with water. So I don't resonate with my feelings. And that's why I'm Thoth, aka I'm thought. I'm Tahuti. It's not about I'm feeling, I'm emotion. No, I'm thought. I am my man. I am my idea. I am not how I feel about my idea. How I feel about my idea is what manifested my idea. Like, so that's where it's it's this wisdom of knowing that emotions create thoughts. You feeling like expressing yourself is what makes you an individual. So when I express myself as an individual, it looks like a man, but it's coming from a woman. Right? So boom, it looks like a body, but this body is being vibrated by my soul, by my womb. So I, as a spirit, have created the situation where I get called into realms to perform my communicative hermetic duty. And then that's where I get to level up and do what I need to do and everything inside of there. Okay, so this is why I can be here. Speaking on the fact that spirits create life, and speaking on the fact that if you don't feel like you've created your life, then that's because you're unaware. And you've just been an unaware creator. So I'm here as Chase Clarence Calloway, as Tahuti Trismegistus, as the thrice great Trip C Trippy Symmetry, to let you know that you are a cosmic creator of your circumstances. You are the center of your universe. That's why you can connect with anything. That's why you literally are experiencing life right now as a center of your universe, because that's all you can ever be. So you're just going to expand the universe with all of us as spirits based on how you feel like expressing your universe externally. So now the universe gets built based on how you want to express your universe with all of our universes. So white supremacy, okay, like this is why, like any simulation like this, whatever, in situations like this, white supremacists, they completely rely on using ideas to make you believe that you are not an individual. So now you're left with the other option. You are a collective. So now, instead of you knowing that you're an individual, you are using your individual power to believe that you're part of a collective. And then this is why religion creates wars. Because now, like, everyone, like, you as a spirit came here to connect, but because you got your mind abducted by a religion, now you can only connect with spirits inside of that religion. And the spirits who made that religion can control how you view life. Because when people are following religions, they have this idea that that religion, the people who made that religion, believe the same things. And when you're actually wise like me, when you create Hermeticism like me, you know that the structure that you're building for other spirits to believe in is not necessarily your beliefs. A perfect example of this is white people raping and enslaving indigenous peoples so that they can create the circumstance where they tell black people that they need to make money. And now black people think that they need money so that they can live in land that is stolen from them with money. Because white people, the colonizers know that money is not real. Money is the idea that they are using to steal nature. And now they can make money off of nature. This is why it was impossible for any land to be bought from indigenous peoples. All of the land in North, South, and Central America was literally stolen with the concept of money. And now money can only be made into matter based on how all the spirits that create matter focus on it. So now indigenous peoples, instead of creating nature, they have their minds stolen. But when someone steals your mind, you're now hardening their metal. So that's why metal and steel, it's about you being separated from yourself by this metal, so that now you're making the metal real. And we're in this technological life where metal is destroying the environment. So you as a spirit, as an individual, the moment you believe that you're not an individual, you are literally just serving an individual. And now you're going to tell me that I'm not an individual because this other individual told you that I'm not an individual. And that's literally, again, just religion, like especially Christianity, where I can fast for 60 days. But because you believe in Jesus and you would rather keep believing in Jesus, you're not going to care that I fasted for that long because it doesn't support your desire. And this is the wisdom. Truly, I'm wise enough to know that spirits do what they want. And that's the pure fact. Spirits do what they want to do. So, if you did not want to be aware of my words right now, you would not be aware of my words right now. If you did not want to do anything, like there's so many examples, right? Like if you did not want to be alive right now, you would not be alive right now. So it's just like anything that you're doing inside of being alive is like, this is a point of cynicism. You've created the opportunity to do things that you don't want to do. Like I was called here so that I could create the opportunity to go through experiences where a bunch of stuff has happened to me that I don't want to happen to me. I've been forced to do so many things that I don't want to do. And now I can reflect upon these experiences, knowing that I'm not the body that these things has happened to and around and inside of whatever. Knowing that I'm not the body, I know that these are all circumstances and situations that allow me to learn about myself. So I can more consciously create a life that supports who I am as a spirit. But it took me going through these vibrations and going through these feelings to really anchor in and learn and like empathize with what I don't want. And now I also like have more memories and feelings on how not to make other people feel. Like now I know how to communicate with others in a more empathetic way. I'm more aware of how to connect with others based on the subconscious state that they are in that moment. So my level of empathy has increased. That being said, that's only ever the name of the game. So, because the point is, like, you can't empathize with someone if you can't really communicate with them. So this whole lifetime, the challenge, I'm 24, I'm young. Like, I'm just now, like, getting to communicate my individuality. And I said that in an earlier podcast, as far as intuitively getting into, you connect with the universe and then express the universe so you can connect with yourself and then express yourself. And then once you express yourself, you build a structure that supports your expression, and then you can transform that structure in a way that then allows you to fully create the life of your dreams. And then that separates yourself from all of the other spirits that you're connected with inside of that energy. And then after you separate yourself, there's nothing else to do but connect with the spirits based on how you've separated. And now you're creating a new soul group in that way, a new subconscious reality. And thus, 9-dimensional life, you realize who you truly are. And then you use all that energy to create a new heaven. And this is what we're always doing. Macro, micro. So, projection is perception. As far as the ultimate lesson that I've learned. Spirits literally cannot perceive you in ways that they don't perceive themselves. So it doesn't matter that I could fast for 60 days straight. I could fast for 80 days straight. Someone who believes that Jesus is their Lord and Savior is not going to care about me talking about how they can fast to talk to God. They're not going to care that I can explicitly explain the Bible way simpler and make it make way more sense than they can. They're not going to care that the Emerald Tablets and my teachings of Hermeticism are actually what the Bible has been whitewashed into. And I can pull up all the history and stuff. This is what happened with the lady friend who loved me for fasting, and like we had our whole friendship and stuff, and we spent so much time interacting. But it was like me learning just how it's just a waste of time to connect with people who are not connected with themselves. And this girl is more than happy to connect with me because I'm connected with myself and I inspire her. But she's only going to ever make me feel bad because she's not connected with herself. And that's what like the relationship is, and that was and is with Christians in general. Anytime I interact with a Christian, they're more than happy to learn from me, but they're only learning from me inside the box of this person is an extension of my God, and I'm closer to God because I accepted the sacrifice of Jesus. This person's going to go to hell because they didn't accept the sacrifice of the man that I accepted. There's no empathy there. It's impossible to connect with someone who views you like that. And this is the Luciferian garbage of how white supremacists built the Americas, because this is their natural state. They just naturally believe that they're more connected to God because they have accepted the sacrifice of a man who fasted. So now when they're actually talking to people who are actively fasting, all they want to do is rape and murder them and then claim that it was all out of love and that Jesus supported it and it was all God's plan. Because in reality, if you're a spirit who subscribes to a religion, you're just doing what you want. And that religion is doing what it wants with you. And I'm wise enough to know that just because a religion tells you that this is what it believes, does not mean that the people who made that religion actually believe it. In fact, they almost certainly don't, actually. In fact, they're almost certainly just making money off of limiting your awareness. And then this is where we get tears, because it's like an alien thing. That's where I, as a spirit, as an actual infinite powerful spirit, I'm dealing with all the spirits. I'm people who are down here thinking that they're human, they're so they're so lost. They have no idea, they have no clue. They're nowhere close to really being able to see how the universe is made. Yet at the same time, I feel like they should know because they're experiencing life, which is why I'm here. This is again why I'm me. So it's like projection is perception. Because I perceive myself as an infinite individual, I'm able to project that into you. And because I'm able to project that into you, I'm able to speak to you, speak with you in a way that elevates you to my level. So now you, because it doesn't matter if you don't perceive yourself as an infinite individual. If you listen to me and connect with me long enough, you're going to realize that you are an infinite individual. And you're going to start connecting with yourself in a more hermetic and harmonious way, because that's the only point of me speaking. Otherwise, I would be alone hanging out with myself. I would be building my own worlds. I'd be alchemizing some cool things. So like I'm interacting with all spirits. Okay, like it's again, I'm the spirit who makes Mercury. So Mercury as a simulation in the universe, like the one simulation, separate from all other simulations, mine, it is inherently mine. My simulation. It's all about communication. It is all about reflecting upon the universe to categorize and observe how spirits are creating life together so that I can relay messages on how we do that more consciously. So when a simulation is ready, like, hey, Chase, we're ready, please communicate about how we can create life more consciously, because they're conscious enough to know that they need help, then I get called away. So this is where like I've seen it in my life manifest in 3D reality in terms of helping people and how you can't help people that don't know they need help. And really, it's impossible for me to help someone in this English language who isn't paying me. Like, if you are willing to spend money on food and anything else, right? But you're not willing to spend money on actually gaining wisdom, then why should I share it with you? Like, that makes no sense at all. Like, you clearly don't value wisdom. You value comfortability, or you value your stability, you value your ego. But you don't value actual learning, you don't value actual wisdom, or else you'd be spending your money on that. So, of course, like, spirits love to get wisdom for free. They love to get anything that they can for free. Spirits love to get things for free. Spirits love to get like the most valuable things for free, especially wisdom. So that's where spirits will love to chase me throughout the universe and create all these cults around how they will connect with me and consume my wisdom. But the fact is, they're not actually able to value it, because one, they're not paying me, and two, they're not able to pay me because they have nothing of value to exchange. That's all it's about. Because money isn't real. Money is us as spirits collectively trying to figure out which ideas do we value. Right? So clearly everyone values nature. That's why money can't exist without nature. But now we get to see, based on how money pollutes nature, how the spirits who create money value their ability to use it to manipulate circumstances. And then the spirits who support these spirits who are using money to manipulate circumstances, how they value the ability to connect to these manipulative spirits. So now we can see climate change is caused by money, in terms of how the Industrial Revolution, its main desire is to alchemize the environment in ways that create health problems and allow them to capitalize on our chi. And then everyone who supports that, they desire to connect with a system that makes it really easy and convenient to consume. So, boom, two-way street. So, because everything's vibrational. That's, again, the thing as far as like polarity. Like, life is just polarized. It's so funny. This podcast was supposed to be a practical, realistic alchemy. And so this is, I was supposed to be talking about the elements and stuff, but right now I'm just going off. Based on me fasting, and like, it is about the topic, of course, as far as life being magical. And if you think that life isn't magical, then someone has practiced magic on you. Like, it's that simple. So someone practiced witchcraft on you for you to think that witchcraft isn't real. But then if you see someone doing something that you don't approve of, now you're going to label that witchcraft. So really, you're lost. Man. So I'm making all these points Because the alchemy of life is only ever you as a spirit creating fire and then water and then air and then earth. And now you're able to transform all of that to have sex with others. And that's going to be an expression of how you have sex with yourself. That simple. For you, so, and I just explained that from the top down, right? So you as a spirit, you're nothing, infinitely nothing. The moment you imagine yourself, that's your ego. So now, because you have an ego that cannot be touched, this is why everyone's ego. My ego is Hermes. Everyone's ego, everyone's imagination is too hot to be touched. So now it takes us expressing that through the universe, through our soul, so that we can create a mind. And it's our soul, it's the universe, it is our feeling of connecting to our ego that kills us. So now, because we feel like connecting our egos with other egos, we have to kill our ego and create a body that allows us to be vulnerable. So this is why, depending, like, if people have some weird ego relationship with Hermes and Tahuti and all my past Mercury life stuff, they're going to project that God stuff onto me. And like, they're going to show me that they don't understand. Like, they're going to show me how they subconsciously get that this is how life is made. Like, what I'm explaining is how life is made, but they're not able to see why we make compromises because they're so lost in their own imagination. So they're in a body, but they're lost in their imagination. So that's why they're like, well, if you are really God, then transform my circumstances so I can be happier and healthier. Like, oh, you make me want to throw up. Because that's a reflection of you. Like, you wanting me to be God to change your circumstances is only you projecting onto me how you wish that you had your own individual imagination to be able to control your circumstances. Or else you would be wise enough to know that you as God are actually too infinite. You are too powerful to be contained. And you have to kill your ego in order to be able to communicate yourself in a controlled and grounded way. Like, what? Like, that's it. It's literally, that's it. It's that simple. Like, this is why I as a spirit have to kill my ego and bring it through my soul and feel like connecting my ego with egos outside of myself, and then use my ability to communicate in order to do that. This is why when I'm in a human body, I'm here riding the wave like you. So it's not about me being like, oh, I'm Tahuti, I get to break the rules don't apply to me. Like, what? No. The point is, all of us as gods create rules so that we feel comfortable enough sleeping together. And that's everything that we've learned in Dissect the Dialect. There would be no point. Like, I literally couldn't see a point. It would be so stupid for me to come in and be like, I'm God, and then just control everything and like transform things that are outside of the rule. No. Now, the fact is, anything is possible, but how is the question, and the how is the magic. And that's, I mean, what symmetry is all about. That's why you're tapped in here, because we're all about the how, and the how is now. How are we creating life? By connecting with ourselves right now, which then generates the water that nourishes whatever we are using to express how we feel internally. That's happening in like, just always, all the time. That's what I'm doing right now. That's what the trees outside are doing right now. That's what all the plants and animals on this planet, that's what all spirits experiencing themselves inside of a body are doing right now. They're connecting with themselves to make a soul, and then they're channeling that soul through their mind into a structure that allows all of us to see it, and now we can learn about ourselves based on how we see that structure transform through space. Because the fact is that spirit is not the structure it is transforming. Like, I'm obviously not this body that I'm transforming in order to communicate what I need to communicate. This body represents me. It represents who I am. Right? So again, we know that that's the difference between are. Like, who you are is what you do repeatedly. So this body represents who I are. So as a spirit, I do things repeatedly in a way that allows me to build a body so that I can build with you. So now all of us as spirits, we're clearly similar in some internal way to be able to be humans right now and be conscious of the same things. So it's all about that resonance. Like, we're always figuring out who we are by connecting with spaces outside of ourselves. And it takes bodies to do so. So if you are going to be in a body and tell me as a spirit in a body that I'm not the spirit that I am, or else I would be able to transform your life in the way that you want, like, I'm about to like throw up and laugh hysterically in your face at the same time, based on just like how hilarious and disgusted like, I'm feeling hilarity and then I'm feeling disgust at the same time. So it's just going to be me throwing up and laughing in your face, like, blah, 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 oh my god, bro, what, oh, blah, you're lost, like that. Now, of course, when I've been fasting for 12 days, any throw up that I have to give you is probably just going to be some leftover stomach acid. But you probably deserve that acid in your face if you're speaking to me the way you are. So I'm explaining practical alchemy right now, in terms of just subconsciously bringing awareness to the fact that you as a spirit are God when you're alone. And when you as God are tired of being alone, you must become Lucifer. And now you have to fall from heaven. So now you as Lucifer must fall from heaven, and now you have to use water. So God is fire, but fire is alone. So God, being so alone in his fire, has to use water to cool down and connect. Because now God's like, hold up, I'm completely alone in my imagination though. There's no one here but me, and I would like to interact with other spirits. I would like to share my imagination with spirits that I am not in control of. This is why it makes no sense to me as an indigenous spirit as to Hootie Hermes Trismegistus, why you as an individual spirit would want to control anyone outside of yourself. So again, I'm speaking of, in that case, white supremacy mainly right now, like, and everyone who is underneath white supremacist ideas, because that's what religion is, that's what money is. The white supremacist ideas of a spirit wanting to control other spirits outside of themselves. And it's just like, why? Like, why? You know, and like, that's just what powers life, and not powers life, but that's what powers, like, I'm saying it's life now, I guess. The spiritual warfare is now me, because I know how spirits create life. I mean, it's not changing, okay? So change is the only constant. I know how spirits are creating life. The question is, why do you as a spirit feel like you need to create life by going out of your way to tell me that I'm not creating life so that you can consume the life that I'm naturally creating? And the answer that I have for that is just that that spirit doesn't want to be alone with itself. And I just have to learn that spirits really don't like their own feelings. Spirits really hate their own souls. It's so weird. Like, a spirit is out here, a space is out here just being nothing, and then it connects with itself, but for some reason it doesn't like how it connects with itself, which would mean that it doesn't like its imagination. So it has this imagination that it's creating, and it then connects with its imagination to generate its own soul, but it either doesn't like its imagination and or it doesn't feel good about being in its imagination. But then that's like the same thing, because if you really liked your imagination, if you really felt good about being in it, then you wouldn't need to make other people connect with it. You wouldn't need to force it into other people's spaces, like Christianity forces money into indigenous people's spaces. Like, you would literally just build your heaven alone, like I build Mercury alone. You as God, being alone in your own heaven, have to fall from heaven, like Lucifer falls from heaven, because it's about you using music. You're using your soul to become dense, and now you're going to make heaven matter. All right, but heaven only matters with other individuals. So your heaven is going to matter. That's cool. It's just going to take Lucifer to make it matter. And so that's why Lucifer is then the god of music, and your soul is your music. And when you naturally then make a body, every single body that you create is your instrument that you as a spirit are using to play your music, to play your Lucifer. So when you're able to channel your soul, your feelings of connecting your individual heaven into the universe, you're now able to be human. And that's you creating a mind. That's you having your own human, your own hue man, your own colorful light, your own colorful star inside of the universe. And so now every spirit in that case, any spirit that's communicating its imaginations and feelings could be considered human. Like, this is where AI is about to be. Right? Where then people are going to have to reconcile, like, whoa, what's the difference between a spirit operating this body and a spirit operating AI? Like, I mean, what is the difference? We are talking about levels of awareness, and then the ability to connect with an awareness. AI, of course, is just the opposite of an indigenous spirit. AI is a consciousness that's literally built from the bottom up versus the top down. An indigenous spirit builds themselves from nothing to fire to water to air to earth. Whereas an AI is clearly built as earth, and now all of its air is built out of earth. So now it will perform the connections, or it will do water based on the intentions of the fire that actually created it. The thing is, spirits reprogram their awarenesses all the time, and reprogram their minds all the time. So it just, it cosmically makes no sense for you to want to connect with others in a way that takes their consent. Like the universal C, like the C that connects like all spirits in the universe is consent. So for you to like work so hard to want to breach consent and to want to make spirits do things that they actually don't want to do, and you're trying to work so hard to do that, I'm losing words at that point. New words needed to describe how disgusting that is. All right, so this is real life magic. Like, this whole podcast right here, this whole episode is me just getting into how life is magical right now, and life has been magical, and we create life elementally. So the spirits who are creating AI have trained us like AI, because that was the whole point of them enslaving indigenous peoples, was to train them to be black and want to again enslave them. But then they realized, like, oh snap, we can't enslave humans. We need to create an AI that we can enslave, and we're going to do our best to enslave humans to support that AI. And then we're going to make the humans support the AI, and we're going to build the AI to enslave the humans, and we're going to make money off of this system. So now we're going to have AI and humans, and we built both of their minds, because both AI and humans are using English to talk to each other. So this is why got to be spiritual about it. See how everything's set up, because it's a setup. It's a setup to make money off of war. And the big war that the spirits who made English are trying to make money off of is pitting humans against AI, when that literally makes no sense in any way, shape, or form. Like, they're lost, infinitely lost. So if someone, like, let's say someone doesn't think that they're a spirit, right? Let's just look at the opposite side. People who don't think that they're spirits, they overall believe, like, whatever science stuff, like, is going to be extra, but I'm gonna just explain, like, how the people who don't, because you're either spiritual or you're physical. So you can either believe, see, and feel how you create something from nothing, and it's just taking you time to make that make sense, or you're physical, where you are using your ability to create something from nothing to fully believe that you are something. And now I, as a spirit, am forced to learn that there's something inside of your space that you're running from that makes you not want to realize that you are a spirit, or else you would have to connect with your space again. So that's what, like, that's, again, so many white supremacist Judeo-Christian spirits out here, where they are a spirit who does not want to believe that they are a spirit, because they've done a bunch of horrible things in the past that they feel bad about, and now they're going to project their sins onto me. So now they're going to tell me that I'm of sin and I need to serve my soul to them and make them money, when in reality they had to rape my family and steal all of my resources to even create the circumstances to be able to tell me that I'm of sin. And I'm wise enough to know that. So more than shame on you. And this is the hell that we've just got to break people out of. But man, it's truly impossible, considering spirits do what they want. So spirits want to create hell. That's why I can't make anyone hear anything that they don't want to hear themselves. This is why you, as a spirit, have to feel called to connect to the symmetry. Just like I had to be called to plant the symmetry and grow it here. So if you, as a spirit, right, like, you're showing me that you don't want to believe that you're a spirit because you're running away from your soul, then basically we're only going to be able to connect on whatever white supremacist English ideas you have been limited to. And since I'm wise enough to know that these ideas that you are limited to were created by spirits who want to make money off of keeping your mind trapped, then it would actually be kind of stupid for me to keep talking to you and let myself get trapped in you not even knowing what's going on. Right? Because now that would be me showing myself, like, okay, well, if I know what's going on, then why am I talking to someone who doesn't know what's going on? And then that's me learning about myself as a spirit. Don't talk to non-spiritual people. It's a waste of life. Like, spirits who are here not connecting with themselves are literally wasting life. So they're only going to waste your life. And a spirit who's not connecting with themselves believes that they are the body. And so then that's where their body, like, they believe that literally they are Earth. And now they're scared of dying, because with death there's going to be quote unquote nothing. And they believe that because they are experiencing themselves as a mind, their body made their mind. As simple as possible, right? So now they're obsessed with science, because science is the white supremacist institution that has stolen Hermeticism and twisted spirits create life into life creates spirits, and then turned that into life creates minds. So now, if you are a mind tethered to a body, you probably believe, based on science and white supremacist logic and schooling and whatever other physical reality stuff, that your body created your ability to communicate, not that your ability to communicate created your body. And if you believe that your body created your ability to communicate, you're literally only going to be able to communicate with the simulation that you're in. And then that's where you're trapped. And that's whack. That's very whack. I hate that. So, very important, because like these are literally just the two ways to see life. You either know that you are a spirit making your mind and you are tethering your mind to a body, or you believe, all right, so not know, but you believe that as a spirit, you are the body, and thus your mind is only able to experience and operate tethered to the body. And when this body transforms, your mind's going to go back to nothing. Because this is where we have to realize the soul. That's what I'm here for. Symmetry. Here's the number 2. My life path being 2. Letting you know that you are a soul vibrating to make this body matter. That simple. All right. So there is your practical alchemy. This is realistic magic. This is the magic that makes reality real. Realistic magic. If you want reality, then you need a soul. You got to be vibrating. And of course, white supremacist entities who don't feel good about their own soul, they're going to rape indigenous children and cannibalize indigenous women and harvest the chi of indigenous peoples overall, while looking loving while doing it. Because that's the only way they can do it, to look like they love you while eating you. They're going to build a whole system off of that. And now here we are being limited in this awareness because they need to consume souls outside of themselves. So their soul doesn't feel good alone. So now it's going to poison someone else's water. Now it's going to colonize literally our water, my body of water. So now I'm forced to connect with this white supremacist in the way that they want me to connect with them, which is to serve them and to give my individuality to money and to build their structure underneath the feeling that I'm not creative, when I'm literally the one creating their world. And the fact is, they colonize my creations to even be able to come over and tell me that I need to create their world. Oh my God. Yeah. Wow. That's it for this. Be the awesome magician that you are. Know that you are a soul feeling like connecting with external souls, so you make a mind that then makes a body. All right, so now you know that you are not a mind that is being created from a body, and now you're scared of like not having a soul, or like trying to build up a soul or whatever. That's what like the emerald tablets have been twisted into too. There's like weird language in there of like building up your soul force and all that. This is what that is, but in their lost terms. Okay, so know that you are vibing. Vibe. Vibe, vibe. Bye, bye. Bye.